Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Karin Helmstedt.
Greetings from Berlin and welcome to our highlights of the week, which this time around included the following stories. Final farewell, band leader James Last says goodbye to his fans. Computer craze, sim racing has a fast-growing fan base. And summer staple, the humble monoblock chair finds its place in the art world. But we start off with fashion, and many people dream of making their mark as a designer. And yet it is one of those professions where it's pretty difficult to break into the forefront. And when you consider that there are some 40 fashion design schools in Germany alone, turning out about 1,000 graduates a year, well, it's clear that not all of them will wind up with their own label. But one way to improve the odds is a win at the International Festival of Fashion and Photography in Hyères, that's in southern France, where many a future star has been discovered.
For 3 days, the fashion world focuses on Hyeres and the makers and shakers of tomorrow. At runway shows, art exhibitions and concerts, fashion's luminaries come together in the southern French town. Their mission? Discovering future stars. Germany's Henning Jorke is one of 10 finalists in this year's competition.
It's really great for me and for my work to be shown in such an international and professional context, and to get feedback from people who are in that part of the industry.
Jorke was selected from 350 applicants. The 28-year-old studied fashion design at the Berlin University of the Arts. His graduation collection was the basis for the 7 looks he'll be showing at the festival.
The idea is a party in the 1920s. I've also worked with elements like a roll of wrapping paper, which makes you think of balloons. I got a lot of inspiration from Jeff Koons' balloon dog.
The connection between art and fashion is one of the hallmarks of the Hyères Festival. It takes place at the Villa Noailles, overlooking the town. Since it was built in the 1920s, the Bauhaus-style building has been a place for artists to meet and share ideas. This year's jury president, Felipe Oliveira Baptista, is the creative director of Lacoste. His career began when he won the competition 10 years ago.
We're looking as well, and most of it is people that have like very clear vision as well of what they're about. So we're looking above all as well of very individual statements, and because it's you have to stand out in a way.
For Henning Jorke and his fellow finalists, this is a massive opportunity to hit the big time. But 3 shows in 3 days is a huge challenge, primarily on the logistics front.
Now the stress is building up with all the packing and transportation. There's no time to take a break.
There's no better stage for the finalists to showcase their talents to the industry's top names.
You have to be creative. And still we are an industry, so we need to integrate talents and select them carefully.
There's also an award for Best Emerging Photographer. As ever, the aim of Hyeres is to bring together artists from all manner of disciplines. The appearance of Radiohead bassist Colin Greenwood is no coincidence.
That's one of my favorite things about being a musician, is the fact that I've made music, I've helped to make music that other people listen to and becomes part of the fabric of their lives. It's amazing.
A few kilometers away, the all-deciding fashion show is being held in this renovated barn. The 10 young designers are making their final preparations. Meanwhile, the first guests are arriving. And Henning Jorke is getting excited.
It's what spurs you on, experiencing the moment of the fashion show. And there's also a lot of adrenaline involved.
The most important guests are the jury, headed by Portuguese fashion designer Felipe Oliveira Baptista. Then comes the moment of truth for Henning Jorke and his collection, called Celebration. The 10 contestants compete for several prizes. The main one, the Grand Prix de Jury, comes with a €15,000 purse. And this year's big winner is Satu Maranen from Finland.
I feel really, really happy. But maybe I haven't had any time to think what just happened. But I'm smiling, so that tells a lot. Yeah.
It's been great just to be here. And I think lots of things are going to happen now.
For all the young designers present, just making it to the finals of the Hyères Fashion Festival is a big step on the road to stardom.
Well, once upon a time, people poo-pooed the idea of buying art over the internet, and that was because you had to be able to see it in person to be able to judge its effect. Well, meanwhile, that philosophy is long since outdated, and Katharina Baukhage has seized the day in this regard. She runs the internet platform ArtFlash out of Berlin and offers original artwork to customers with little time and even less money. And she manages to keep her prices well below the usual market values, which is perhaps why she has more than 4,000 clients already registered. Here's more.
The opportunity to acquire a genuine Jörg Immendorf or Jonathan Meser far below its market value is an attractive prospect. ArtFlash is an online gallery. Offering works by internationally known artists at affordable prices is its business concept. 42-year-old art expert Katharina Baukhage opened the gallery just a few months ago, driven by the desire to get more people interested in art.
We're opening our portal to everyone who's interested in contemporary art but doesn't have all that much money or time to go to art fairs or visit galleries. We're hoping to appeal to young people and people buying art for the first time who'll stay with it and realise that it's fun.
The online gallery sells works by well-known artists. No more than 2 editions are on offer at any one time for a period of 14 days. The works cost between 100 and 1,500 euros a piece. One current offer is a picture by German painter and sculptor A.R. Penck being photographed here for the website.
The presentation of the works is very important to us. We show them in an environment that people can identify with, together with objects that just happen to pop up in the picture.
Katharina Baukhage finds the treasures in archives and at art publishers. Often the prices haven't kept up with the artist's rising market value, so she can buy and offer them at reasonable prices. A few months ago, she found an edition by German artist Jonathan Meser at a Berlin printer's. She likes to come here to browse and pick up advice. All the works she puts online are limited editions and hand-signed.
When you search at the printers here, you're hunting for something special, for treasures, artists' names that have become big, yet for various reasons whose very early works are undiscovered. Or they might have been very young artists when they were working here. That's the thrill and the incentive.
The internet is changing the art market. It's opening it up to ordinary art lovers. That also goes for the more upscale segment of the market. One of the first online galleries, the international portal ArtNet, opened more than 10 years ago. Now it has numerous imitators. The Berlin auction house Auktionate is even planning an auction live on the internet in June. On the block is a 1916 watercolor by Egon Schiele, discovered in a private estate. The starting bid is set at €1 million. Most clients have given up their reservations about buying art on the internet.
I think buying art over the internet is a good thing because you don't have to go anywhere. You do it with a mouse click. It has to do with our having less and less time. Also, if I'm in Australia and I want a work that's in London, no problem. I can just purchase it on the internet and have it sent to me. Then I have the art experience in my own 4 walls.
Ich habe dann zu Hause sozusagen das Kunsterlebnis in meinen 4 Wänden.
Art lover Moritz Viehweger of Berlin appreciates the freedom the internet gives him. He's already bought 2 editions from Art Flash. One is this work by French artist Ben Vautier for €750.
Also eine Hemmschwelle.
I don't have any qualms about buying on the internet anymore, not even art. For one, you can get to know the picture without getting jostled left and right like you would at an exhibition. And for another, the pieces aren't overly expensive, which to me opens them up for impulse buying.
Katharina Baukhage is banking on such spontaneous purchases.
Many people say collecting art is like a drug. We don't want to create a lot of drug addicts, but in a sense we do.
Art can be addictive, especially if it can be bought at a reasonable price and so easily.
Well, he has more than left his mark on the music world. And although he's best known for his easy listening repertoire, German band leader James Last is a real inspiration to younger generations of musicians. And I think it's agreed he radiates his own brand of cool. Well, over his 40-year career, he's sold more than 80 million albums and scored enough gold and platinum discs to make him one of this country's most successful musicians ever. He's currently on his last world tour, and we caught up with him at a special gig in London.
It's party time here at London's famous Royal Albert Hall. Big band leader James Last is on tour.
It's the meeting place for all our fans. They come here from all over the world, from Norway, Brazil, everywhere. They even wave banners, just like at the Olympics. Performing there is great fun, of course.
This year, Last is giving 2 concerts at the Royal Albert Hall. That will mean a grand total of 89 sold-out concerts at the famous venue since 1973. Last has always been big in Britain. Some of the fans are already in line 5 hours before the concert kicks off.
Anybody here for the sound check? Through door 1 with your tickets. Thank you.
His London performances are special. It's the only place where the fans are allowed to attend the sound check before the concert. The mood is celebratory, and there are even glasses of bubbly to go around.
That's long ago.
Back then, they weren't allowed in. But one day I said, there are fans and our friends. You have to let them in. Otherwise, we won't come and play anymore. Then I held the door open for them and let them in. They aren't young people, they're all older. They've been attending our concerts for more than 30 years now.
We've seen every concert that he's done at the Albert Hall over the years.
He's the best. Definitely the best.
That's what we want. That's why it's so popular. It's proper music.
When you come to the Albert Hall, you can pretend you're on holiday, and everybody is having such a good time.
And James Last, he lives up to the holiday spirit, doesn't he?
Yeah. In 1965, Last came up with what he calls the happy sound, music to party to.
Music should convey an atmosphere. Just barreling ahead leaves people cold. But when you do something people can dance to, or that moves them, people call it happy music. And that's okay.
James Last has just turned 84. Born and raised in the northern German city of Bremen, he was one of Germany's top jazz bassists in the 1950s. His second wife, Christina, always joins him on tour. His 40 musicians spend close to 2 months on the road together, and they work like a well-oiled machine.
That's how it is in the orchestra. We're up till 2 or 3 a.m. talking about music and having a drink. And at 8, they're all sitting in the bus ready to leave. In 30 years, no one's ever been late. And for musicians, that's really something.
Back at London's Royal Albert Hall, the audience celebrates with James Last and hopes it won't really be for the very last time.
Well, this one goes out to all those of you who love fast cars. And the great thing about this is that you don't even have to fill up the tank with all that expensive gasoline. Sim racing is virtual, simulated race car driving on a computer. And over the past few years, it has become extremely popular within the motorsport community. In fact, it's even possible, although it's hard to believe, but if you train hard enough to make the jump from couch to cockpit.
Burning rubber at the Nürburgring at 280 kilometers an hour. Thanks to sim racing computer software, Patrick Lummer can race Germany's biggest motorsport circuit from the comfort of his own living room in Wesseling, near Cologne.
I love motorsport, and here I can meet my friends in the evening and race online with them. You can compete in real professional races too if you register with the leagues. You can even win prize money sometimes, and that's why I like it. I like doing this with friends, having fun, and of course I want to win and be the fastest.
Sim racing is more than just a computer game. Many players appreciate it for its realism, and they take it very seriously. Patrick Lummer paid some 4,000 euros for his equipment. It includes a special seat, a steering wheel that builds up pressure like in a real race car, and pedals with the hydraulic element that makes them feel like the real thing. Drivers compete via the internet in international championships, and there's a live commentator like on TV.
At the back, it's Patrick Lummer battling against Jens Wolf, and we've got the first slipstream duel. And Patrick Lummer gets a penalty, a false start because he stepped on the gas too soon.
It's no different to a real race car. I have to brake just the same, change gears, and steer just the same. Except you've got the G-force. For me, it's an ideal way to prepare for motorsport, and some drivers have already made the transition from sim racing to real motorsport.
And there is the chance that if you're good at sim racing, you might end up in a real cockpit. That's how Hungarian motor racer Norbert Mikalis was discovered. Today he's training at the Slovakia ring, southeast of Bratislava, for the World Touring Car Championship. He won his first real racing world championship in 2012 and chalks his success up to sim racing.
You don't only learn how to handle a car quickly, but online you're competing against real people and encounter lifelike situations. I was a newcomer for the real racing drivers.